Two sisters, one man, and a love so desperate it tore a family apart. One was beautiful. Every eye turned when she walked by. The other was overlooked, passed over, invisible. One was chosen, one was used. But God had not forgotten either of them. This is not just a story about romance or rivalry. This is a story about what happens when your worth gets tied to whether someone chooses you, about what jealousy does to a soul over time, about how the God of heaven sees the woman the world ignores. Watch until the end, because this isn't just an ancient story, it's a mirror, and you may see yourself in it before we're done. There was a man named Jacob. He was not an easy man. He had come into the world grabbing his twin brother's heel, and he had never stopped grabbing. He tricked his brother Esau out of a birthright. He deceived his dying father Isaac into giving him a blessing that was not his. And when Esau's rage became dangerous, Jacob ran. But even on the run, God met him. In a dream, a staircase reached from earth to heaven, and the Lord spoke to him, saying, "I am with you. I will watch over you wherever you go. I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you." Jacob woke up trembling. He said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it." He set up a stone as a pillar, made a vow, and kept running. He arrived in the land of the east, in Haran, his mother's homeland. He found a well surrounded by flocks and shepherds. The shepherds told him, "His daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep even now." And then Jacob saw her. Rachel came over the hill, and the world seemed to slow. She was beautiful in form, beautiful in face. He rolled the stone from the mouth of the well himself, a stone that normally required multiple men. Then he wept. He told her, "I am your father's kinsman. I am Rebekah's son." Rachel ran to tell her father. Laban brought Jacob home. For 1 month, Jacob worked and watched. Every day his eyes followed Rachel. But there was another daughter. Her name was Leah. Her eyes were weak or tender, depending on the translation. Whatever it means, the contrast with her sister is immediate and deliberate. Rachel was beautiful in form and face. Leah's introduction was her eyes. She was invisible, not because she lacked value, but because beauty had walked into the room ahead of her and taken up all the space. She watched Jacob's eyes. She knew exactly where his heart was, and she thought to herself, "He does not see me." After 1 month, Laban sat Jacob down and said, "Just because you are my relative, should you work for me for nothing? Tell me, what shall your wages be?" Jacob did not hesitate. He said, "I will serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter." 7 years, not silver, not land. 7 years of his life for the right to call her his wife. Laban agreed, saying, "It is better that I give her to you than to any other man. Stay with me." And Jacob worked. 7 years felt like days. That is what love does when it is real. Finally, the day came. Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife. My time is completed." Laban prepared the feast. The celebration stretched long into the night. In the darkness, Laban brought his daughter to Jacob. But when morning came, Jacob turned and looked at the woman beside him. It was Leah. Jacob confronted Laban, demanding, "What is this you have done to me? Did I not serve you for Rachel? Why have you deceived me?" Laban's answer was smooth and practiced. He said, "It is not the custom in our place to give the younger before the firstborn. Complete the week of this one, and we will give you the other also, in return for serving me another 7 years." The deceiver had been deceived. Jacob had just been handed the exact thing he had done to his own brother. He agreed. He took Rachel as his wife 1 week later. And now 2 sisters were under one roof, married to one man. Jacob loved Rachel more than Leah. 4 words, plain, devastating. But God saw her. When the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb. She bore a son and said, "The Lord has looked upon my affliction. Surely now my husband will love me." She bore another son and said, Because the Lord has heard that I am hated, he has given me this son also. A third son came, and she said, Now this time my husband will be attached to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. 3 sons, 3 cries for love. But then something shifted. She bore a 4th son, and this time she did not name him after her longing. She looked at her son and said, This time I will praise the Lord. But Rachel was not at peace. She had Jacob's love, but she had no children. She came to Jacob and cried out, Give me children, or I shall die. Jacob's anger flared. He said, Am I in the place of God, who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb? Sons were born through servants. Names were chosen, each name a weapon in a war between 2 sisters who had once shared a childhood. Rachel had love but no children. Leah had children but no love. Each had exactly what the other wanted. Then came the day of the mandrakes. Reuben found them in the field and brought them to his mother. Rachel saw them and asked, Please give me some of your son's mandrakes. Leah's response carried years of pain in a single sentence. She said, Is it a small matter that you have taken away my husband? Would you take away my son's mandrakes also? Rachel offered a trade. Leah could have Jacob that night in exchange for the mandrakes. When Jacob came in from the field, Leah met him at the door and said, You must come in to me tonight, for I have hired you with my son's mandrakes. Then God remembered Rachel. He opened her womb. She bore a son and said, God has taken away my reproach. May the Lord add to me another son. The joy of a woman who had waited so long, the hope itself had almost died. In time, Jacob gathered his family and began the long journey home. But the road was not finished. Rachel carried another child. Labor came at the worst moment. The midwife said to her, Do not fear, for you have another son. Rachel named him Ben-Oni, son of my sorrow, and then she was gone. Jacob buried her on the road to Bethlehem and renamed the boy Benjamin. Rachel died before she reached home. Leah was buried in the cave of Machpelah with Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, and Rebekah. When Jacob was dying, he gave instructions. Bury me with my fathers, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah. He lay down in death beside Leah. The woman he had not chosen became the woman he was buried with. And from Leah's line, from Judah, the son she named in praise, came the tribe of kings, the line of David, the lineage of Jesus himself. Leah teaches us that being unseen by people does not mean being unseen by God. She was overlooked, unloved, second choice. But God opened her womb when her husband closed his heart. He heard her before she spoke. He saw her when no one else looked. If you have ever felt invisible, if you have been passed over, if you have sat in the shadow of someone more celebrated, Leah's story is your story. And God's response to Leah is his response to you. I see you. Rachel teaches us the danger of letting what we lack define us. She had love. She had beauty. She had a man who worked 14 years for her. But she could not rest in what she had because of what she did not have. When we say, I will be okay when, we hand our joy to something outside our control. What you have been given is already significant. Jacob teaches us that what we sow, we reap, always, eventually. He stole a blessing in the dark. Years later in the dark, deception was performed on him. The method was different. The pain was identical. The invitation is not to be clever. The invitation is to be honest. And this story together teaches us that rivalry never wins. 2 sisters spent their lives competing for something neither could fully have. The answer was never to win the rivalry. The answer was to step out of it. Leah found her way out the moment she stopped naming her sons after her longing for Jacob and started naming them after her gratitude to God. The moment you stop measuring your life against someone else's, you begin to actually live it. If you have spent years feeling like Leah, take heart. The God who opened her womb sees you right now. You have not been overlooked by heaven. If you have spent years feeling like Rachel, holding everything but still restless, stop. Count what is already in your hands. If you have been sowing deception expecting a different harvest, there is still time to change what you plant. If you are caught in a rivalry that is hollowing you out, you already know the truth. No one wins that war. Step out of it. God worked through all of it. Through the rivalry, through the deception, through the tears. He always does. The smoke has cleared over this ancient valley, but the lessons remain, written in tears, in names given to children, in an old man's burial instructions, and in the quiet way God noticed a woman the world forgot. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe to Bible Unfolded. It means the world to us. And tell us in the comments, which Bible story should we tell next?